might need to take a nap after this video. No, I don't want to wash the sheets or anything again. And don't you come out until you've cleaned that room. Do you hear me? Don't you come out. If you've got a standalone guest bedroom, you're lucky. But like many of us, my room is multi-purpose and I use it for a lot of things. So now it's going to be a guest bedroom. All right, that feels better. What? I didn't say it was going to be perfect. I said I had to get that room clean. It's my guest bedroom. Some things have to suffer and you play Tetris. Welcome to your guest bedroom. Hi, it's Eunice from Theory of Simple, and welcome to my guest bedroom, which could also be your guest bedroom if you came to stay with me. As you can see, most of you who have been to my channel recognize this as my studio. It's also my guest bedroom, so I'm going to give you a little tour of how I set that up and tell you about some of the best things that I find that are helpful when I'm traveling. The first things I like to do is just obviously show my guests their room. This is going to be their space for the few days they're visiting me. And after I show them that and say my hellos, I like to give them a little bit of time to just settle in. Whether that means they just need to rest or unpack, I just want to give them some time to just get settled, and then we can continue on with our visit. The next thing they're going to want to do is just get settled in for a little bit. And for me, that means being able to unpack. So I have a few things here behind me that are actually part of my studio that's going to help them get organized and get settled in. Number one thing I like to give is a lot of hangers. I don't know how many times I've gone to an Airbnb or even a hotel and there's just not enough hangers, and then I have to request them. So I like to make sure I have enough places for storage, and even here a nice little box for them to unpack their luggage and keeps things like sweaters and things like that stacked here. I also like to provide a nice shoe rack so they can put things like taller boots here and some of your smaller shoes under here and keep everything organized. I also like to provide a nice stool so they can sit down and take their shoes on and off, as well as a place to set out their luggage if they need to. If guests are staying for longer than a couple of days, I like to provide them with a little hamper so they can put their dirty clothes into something and wash them. I also like to make sure there's plenty of hooks to hold things like robes and towels. I also like to make sure there's hooks behind the doors to hang towels to let them dry. You may be wondering, why don't they just use the closet that I have over there? Well, this room is also a room that my parents come to stay with me for a longer term. I've dedicated that closet just for them so they can keep everything in there and closed up. Then I use my studio setup behind me as a place for my guests to organize all of their belongings. Most of the time when I travel, the thing that matters the most is a bed and something comfortable and just something I can cozy up into and get the rest I'm gonna need after I've traveled a long distance or had a time change. I have a queen size bed here with a nice mattress that's going to offer my guests a lot of comfort, but I also have several different styles and types of pillows here because some of us are back sleepers, some of us are stomach sleepers, some of us are side sleepers. So each of these pillows has a little bit different firmness to allow my guests to be able to choose what they need to sleep comfortably. And also I have a lot of pillows because some people like to sleep with a pillow between their legs or propped up a little bit higher. I also have a nice leather headboard here, so if they decide to be flailing around or something, if they hit it, it's not going to be something where they're smacking themselves into something hard. I also choose my bedding carefully. I like to give them 100% cotton sheets so that it's something soft to sleep on, as well as a down alternative comforter. And I also do not use down pillows because there are times where people have been allergic to those things, and I just prefer to have something that everybody can sleep with. So everything's either 100% cotton and down alternative. Another great thing to provide is a nice soft blanket. If they want to take a nap or something and they don't really want to get into bed, something like this is great to have just so they can curl up and take a little nap. I also like to make sure that on each side of the bed there's a place for people to set things, whether they're charging their phones, they have a CPAP, a glass of water, they just need a place to be able to set a few things. So I like to make sure that on either side of the bed I have some place that allows them to put a few things. I also like to make sure that all bedside lights have a switch that's easily accessible. Of course, our electronics are so important to us, so I like to provide our network and Wi-Fi password, a nice little hub that has USB-A, but I also provide a little tiny converter for USB-C. I also like to provide a controller, a remote control for the light in the fan on the overhead ceiling, as well as an Apple iWatch charger and a MagSafe charger as well, so they have everything they need to keep all your electronics charged. Studies have shown that looking at some low light, like candles, can help you sleep, so I like to provide something that they can turn on and off with a remote control. The remote control also has a timer, so I can set it for 2, 4, or 6 hours. I also like to provide them with an Amazon Alexa, so if they want to play some music or control the light in the corner of the room, they can do so. Hey Alexa, play some relaxing spa music. Here's a station for you, spa on Amazon. I also like to provide a little jewelry box, so if people have things that they want to keep right by their bedside, they can keep watches and jewelry or even sunglasses right here. Each person that stays with me on each side of the bed will have one of these little baskets, and inside of it are all of the towels they're going to need for bathing. They can also hang them up in the bathroom or behind the door if they like, and then use this for other things for storage. Underneath this table here, I like to keep a basket of what is called things. These are all the little things, some toiletries in case they've forgotten something. I keep things that I've gotten on airlines or from hotels and just keep them in here. Things like razors, toothbrush, toothpaste, even some cleansers and things like that. So just a little amenities basket to allow them to know they can get anything they want out of here. I like to make sure that I can get the room as dark as possible, so I use blackout shades to try to give me as much darkness as possible when people are here staying, give them the best night's rest. Although not completely full size, I can get a pretty good view of what I look like here. It'll give me about 3/4 view, and if I stand back far enough, I can see my feet. So you want a nice size mirror so people can see how they look, but I also provide a full-length mirror out in the hallway so that people can step out there to see their full length in that mirror. Of course, you might need a place to work, so your little stool here can be set right in front of this little table. This will allow you to sit down here and be able to do a little bit of work here at this tiny little table. There's power here for them to charge up, and you have a nice little workstation now. It also can serve as a place to put on makeup, but also as my breakfast bar, so it's multi-purpose, but a great little place to have in your guest bedroom. Of course, I always like to provide a little bit of fresh fruit, especially if it's something from my garden. And some fresh flowers always make it look nice. I also like to provide my guests with a goodie basket. There's many times you get in and it's late, you maybe had a time change, it's been a long day of travel, and I just want to give them something comforting, something they can, if they get up in the middle of the night because they can't sleep, they can get themselves something to eat or drink, or at the end of the day, they just want some alone time in their room, just some things that they can feel comfortable being in the room and not feeling like if they got up early, they were rummaging through the kitchen and making a lot of noise. So I have a variety of things that I provide for them here. Let me go through those with you. I like to provide them with a little nice teacup and of course their own napkin and spoon, so they can mix up their coffee, or I even have oatmeal here if they feel like they need something in the morning and we're not up. Lots of mini snacks like pretzels and popcorn. Of course, a nice large bottle of water, and I also like to give just a little bit of chocolate or something, always nice to have. Of course, I have all of the things you'll need for coffee here, like half and half. There's some instant coffee here, some stevia and some honey, a couple of stroop waffles if you want those, a variety of nuts, some tea, also some electrolyte powder and some bone broth. I also have some little tiny pepperonis and some little bits of fruit that's dried fruit for them to eat. All of these will be something they can just snack on when they're here. If they're not using this area as a desk or an area to put on makeup, I like to keep the little basket here because it becomes like a little snack bar. And then I also provide them with a hot water heater. This is going to allow them to heat up some hot water, use the bottled water here, make coffee, tea, or oatmeal. That way, if they're up in the middle of the night or really early because of the time change, they don't feel like they're disturbing everyone, but they can still get their day started. Or if they can't sleep and they just want some hot bone broth, this will allow them to get that and not have to worry about being out in the kitchen and making noise. I don't know about you, but when I've been traveling all day, sometimes my back really bothers me and I need to be able to stretch and roll out, so I provide a yoga mat and a roller. And there's plenty of room here on this floor to throw the yoga mat out and use the roller and get yourself all stretched out. So that's it. Those are my things that are in my guest bedroom. I'm curious to know, what are the things you would have in a guest bedroom that you'd like for amenities? Put those in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, because it'll let you know when I put up another wacky video. Until the next time, juice life, drink the joy, keep life simple. I'll see you in the next video. This is nicer than my own bedroom. Maybe I'll just stay in here.